Among the enormous four U.S. conveys, Delta is by all accounts taking another course, a course that is inclining it away from Boeing and towards Airbus. However, this isn't simply a steady shift, it's a change that has seen Delta not submit a solitary request with Boeing in a decade. Today almost 50% of Delta's armada is comprised of Airbus airplane. That is correct, 2 out of each and every 5 planes in Delta's armada are Airbus. That is as of not long ago, when Delta amazed everybody and orders 100,737 MAX planes. Be that as it may, don't be tricked. Notwithstanding this enormous request, it doesn't flag a revisitation of Boeing, as you will later find out. Far from it, Delta has additionally been putting orders with Airbus, and loads of them. What does this mean? So what's the significance here for Delta, for Airbus, for Boeing, and for the future of flying? To grasp the extent of this shift, we really want to travel once again into the past. You see, Delta has been a drawn-out client of Boeing anyway. It's been steadily moving its loyalty towards Airbus. Today almost 50% of Delta's armada is Airbus, a critical increment from a decade prior. This change isn't simply a change in airplane provider, it's a key move that could reclassify Delta's future. Delta's relationship with Airbus has been fortifying over the years. The aircraft has put significant orders with Airbus, adding to its developing armada of Airbus airplane. Interestingly, Delta's requests from Boeing have been decreasing. However, there is a technique behind why Delta is requesting more Airbus airplanes, and it's nothing unexpected. Truly, when you think about it, we should get going with Delta's late request of 30 extra Airbus A321neos. This move isn't just about adding more planes to the armada, it's a huge move toward Delta's armada restoration and disentanglement designs. It's like a chess player thinking a few pushes forward, planning for the long game, as an ever-increasing number of nations are outfitting towards supportability air terminals. What's more, aircraft should change in accordance with it also. We've seen this generally in the Netherlands, where the Dutch government chosen to cut trips at Amsterdam Air Terminal to lessen clamor contamination and to maintain its environment arrangement. That is the reason the choice to arrange more Airbus A321neos checks out for Delta long haul. You see, the A321neo isn't simply any airplane, it's Delta's most eco-friendly, huge measure-type body airplane that is on account of the Pratt & Whitney PW1100 grams motor, or the CFM Global Jump 1A motor. The two motors are fuel-productive, more sound-diminishing and eco-accommodating than some other motors. Today Delta has the privilege to pick from these two distinct motor choices for the Neo. However, the advantages of the A321neo reach out past eco-friendliness. The aircraft can likewise use the cutting-edge innovation and highlights of Airbus airplane to upgrade its client experience. There is a major test that accompanies the size of this progress, and that is pilot preparing. As you presumably understood, Delta will likewise have to prepare its pilots. Furthermore, group to work the new Airbus airplane, a cycle that demands investment. Furthermore, assets. Luckily, that may not be the situation for Delta long haul. You see, pilots who know about Airbus try not to have to do additional preparation to fly different Airbus. It's very virtuoso when you consider it. That is on the grounds that Airbus has kept the plan of the cockpit similar down to its seat agent. This implies that pilots who are acquainted with flying an Airbus plane can fly various sorts of Airbus airplanes. Basically put, a pilot can fly an A220 and then, at that point, go to an A330 Neo and back to an A220 all in 7 days. That way, when the Neo will be conveyed across Delta's broad homegrown network, it won't be a responsibility, yet rather supplementing Delta's current Airbus A321 co-armada of 121 airplanes. Presently requesting new planes is only one section of the situation. The genuine test lies in coordinating these new airplane into the current armada. This is where Delta key arranging becomes possibly the most important factor. The carrier has a nitty-gritty arrangement for the conveyance and organization of the A321neos. Delta changed over by freedoms into firm requests under its current A321neo by concurrence with Airbus. Delta's first Neo showed up in the principal half of 2022, with conveyances going on through 2027. This staged methodology guarantees a smooth progress and permits Delta to bit by bit supplant its more established airplane like the 737 MAX 8 with the more effective A321neos. Yet for what reason did Delta request this? Request 100 MAX helps to just put it market interest. You see, Delta seeks to profit by a bounce back in air travel following the coronavirus pandemic. The carrier has 237 MAX 8 in help, which is as yet their biggest transporter in their armada today. Their nearest second is the A321neo with 162 planes in help. Even If they have any desire to supplant the entirety of their maximum 8s with the Neo, it will most likely take several years at the base, so Delta is being savvy and is playing both the short and long game. They're putting resources into the future by supplanting its more seasoned armada of MAX 8 with fresher planes, while moreover profiting by the ongoing spike in air travel interest, regardless of numerous avionics specialists who feel that the 737 time has come. It seems like Delta thought contrastingly about this, however. This doesn't mean a full return of the 737 on the grounds that, for reasons unknown, Delta has various designs for what's to come. Delta's likely arrangements for Airbus are not restricted to the A321neo. The aircraft has likewise requested 45 Airbus A220,100s and 86 of 220,300s, further fortifying its obligation to Airbus. These airplanes, with their high-level highlights and predominant execution, will assume a significant part in Delta's future armada. There are even discussions about a new huge wide-body request for Airbus from Delta, considering the new increase in air travel interest and specifically worldwide travel. And when you put all of this together, an image structures which is very clear about Delta's enormous plan for Airbus, and that is, in single word, intensifying. You see, Delta is making full utilization of Airbus cockpit plan. They know that with preparing new pilots to work in an Airbus plane, Delta expands their pool of pilots to consumingly fly Airbus planes. That way Delta can proceed to develop much quicker, request new planes to adapt to the developing interest and environment without stressing that their pilots and group are not being prepared into flying new planes. It's really seen an expert chess player at work, so it appears as Delta's new request of 10,737 MAX planes from Boeing, while a critical move present moment, is overshadowed by the carriers proceeded with inclination for Airbus. This change in devotion raises inquiries concerning Boeing's future at Delta, despite the fact that the carrier liked to remain impartial on this matter. Yet at the same time, Boeing, a titan in the avionic business, has been a well-established accomplice of Delta. You can't resist the urge to believe that the scales are tipping in support of Airbus. The inquiry that poses a potential threat is, what does this mean for Boeing? The effect of Delta's progress is diverse. On the surface it means a deficiency of a huge client, yet the suggestions run further. Boeing's business sector position, previously shaken by the 737 MAX emergency, could be additionally undermined. The organization's future possibilities need apparently unfaltering and presently under investigation. The 737 MAX emergency specifically has been a significant difficulty. The establishing of the 737 MAX armada following 2 lethal crashes has not just expensed Boeing a walloping $18.4 billion. However, it likewise discolored its standing, and moreover a few specialists trust that it may be an ideal opportunity to stop the 737 until the end of time. Contrast, Airbus has been consistently making strides. You see, the European aviation monster has been exploiting Boeing's stumbles, getting orders from aircrafts overall, including Delta. The opposition between the two makers is wild, and right now Airbus is by all accounts coming out on top in the race, or essentially establishing the rhythm. Boeing, anyway, isn't one to withdraw from a test. The organization has been taking key actions to recover its balance in the market, notwithstanding the contention encompassing the 737 MAX. Delta's structure connotes a vote of trust in Boeing. It's a flicker of trust in the thing. Has been a difficult period for the organization. Looking forward, Boeing has a mountain to climb. The organization needs to re-establish confidence in its items, recover lost ground, and demonstrate that it can in any case be a forerunner in the flight business. It's a difficult task in any case. Assuming there's one thing that Boeing has shown throughout the long term, its versatility. One thing is clear: the flight industry is in for a time of huge change. Delta's shift towards Airbus is only one piece of the riddle. As we look towards the future, it's reasonable that Airbus will keep on playing a focal job in Delta's arrangements. The aircraft's change to Airbus isn't simply an adjustment of hardware, it's a vital move, a change in way of thinking. Obviously, the carrier's flightway is set for a future in Airbus' favor. The carrier key moves from its critical orders of Airbus A321neos to its obligation to maintainability and traveler experience connote an unmistakable inclination for Airbus. Delta's change isn't just about it changing airplane suppliers, as a change that could rethink the aircraft's future. Yet similarly, as with any excursion, there are difficulties ahead. However, Delta's excursion towards Airbus is a demonstration of the carrier's strength. What's more, versatility. One thing is clear: Delta's Airbus process is simply taking off.